banking standards, where you separate the commercial banks from the investment banks. So what that means is that you sever things like derivatives, credit default swaps completely from legitimate banking. The federal government has no obligation anymore to bail out gambling banks. These are just gambling banks. So we're going to give it back to Wall Street, and Wall Street can figure out how they're going to pay for that, and they can't.
But during Clinton's administration, this was all changed.
Yeah, well, he was obviously distracted with the whole Newington scandal.
Yeah.
But you know, this has really been kind of a 40-year takedown of the bank, the deregulation of the banking system. This has been a long time in the making. But so we have a real opportunity of ramming this policy through right now because of what happened with the former head of the International Monetary Fund, Dominique Strauss-Kahn. Did you hear about that? Yeah. So what they didn't tell you is that he was about to get on a plane and go to Europe and finalize a hyperinflationary bailout
Of Europe.
Of Europe. Right. And so somebody on a high level, or some people on a high level in New York and in the United States, said, okay, one more bailout and we're all finished.
42E3.
And I think we should be discussing the fact that the only way to stop the bailout is to pass the Glass Steagall policy. I'm sure you're familiar with Marcy Kaptur's House Resolution 1489. You should absolutely sign on to this because the bailout policy has now been taken off the table internationally. With the arrest of Dominique Strauss-Kahn, the former head of the International Monetary Fund, the timing of his arrest is extremely interesting. Because he was about to go to Europe and finalize this hyperinflationary bailout. And people in this country said, one more bailout, and we're all finished. So right now we have an opportunity to ram through Glass Steagall immediately. And the co-sponsors onto this bill are increasing daily. And look, what we do with Glass Steagall is we separate the commercial and the investment banks. We return to Franklin Roosevelt's 1933 banking policy. And we give back to Wall Street the $17 to $20 trillion of worthless derivatives, credit default swaps, and whatnot. And they're going to sink under their own weight. So we don't have to bail out, the federal government doesn't have to bail out this stuff anymore.
Well, I see you have a speech, not a question. So let me just say, let me speak, if you will. Two things. One, this isn't specifically to the topic at hand, but it is part of how we got into our debt, and you may have heard me say that was because of lack of regulation. You may also be aware that currently in Congress, rather than trying to get Glass Steagall through, the existing Republican-controlled majority is seeking to eliminate Dodd-Frank. So when you suggest to ram it through, what I'm suggesting to you is that elections have consequences, and there probably aren't the votes realistically to do it. However, Marcy Kaptur, who's spoken before our caucus and has rallied our caucus behind her proposal, I think with some modifications. And I say modifications because Glass Steagall in 1935, there is a difference in our financial instruments from 1935 to the present. But the idea and concept, I have an idea of my own, which says there ought to be an inspector general, an independent inspector general that audits every single one of the financial entities in and of themselves and report to the Congress. So beyond the protections, Glass Steagall is a protection, but you also, even when you have a protection, if there isn't the enforcement, then the law isn't any good. But that's another subject for another day. I want to talk about Medicare. So
what you just said sounds like a typical Boston politician.
Well, I'm from Connecticut, but
I know
where are you from?
Where are you from?
Where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from?
The Dodd-Frank.
Where are you from?
The Dodd-Frank.
Where are you from?
There's a loophole.
excuse me,
so disrespectful.
all right.
Where are you
Who
from?
cares who I'm from?
Where are you
Listen,
from?
I understand you'd like to have a forum, but this is a forum for people who are interested in Medicare. Come to the forum on the deficit. We'll have a great opportunity for
We
you.
can save Medicare if we don't.